We have to recognise the degree to which NATO has already proven to be an astonishingly effective instrument of preventing any kind of threat to its member states. And I think, we have to realise that we are at war with the Russians. It's an economic, political, legal war rather than a shooting war, but it is a war nonetheless. And in some ways, it's not actually in NATO's territory.
Russia probably does not want a conventional war with more countries. So this is something NATO should use to their advantage, right? And should stay confident and strong. It seems that the Article 5 of the NATO treaty itself is in a way a deterrent in its own right. Russia is mired in Ukraine. Its war, the war has not gone as Russia has intended. It's already stretched conventionally.
Yes, NATO has to maintain its deterrent credibility. It needs to maintain its unity and its spending on its military. But in some ways, I think we really ought to be thinking more about how the non-military side of this conflict is maintained. That is where I think we're not really yet being properly thoughtful about how we fight our conflict with Russia.
Well, certainly particular things that Central European countries can do. I mean, the reality is this war shows that NATO was significantly undercapitalized in terms of availability of munitions, in terms of the size and capacity of NATO forces, and that much of NATO had benefited from a peacetime dividend, but this led to a period of disarmament and a transition of defense sectors to peacetime levels of production, right? Today, Ukraine needs significant support. It needs a lot of material support. It needs equipment. It needs ammunition. Unfortunately, European countries that have the capacity to produce munitions, Czech Republic actually is an example of that. Some have done well in leading forward and helping to mobilize their production, and others have lagged and taken considerable amount of time to issue contracts, going well into this war, and there are consequences to those delayed decisions. So the honest answer is that there's a lot that Central European countries can do, and many Central European countries have capabilities or they have industrial capacity that would be relevant to Ukraine's war effort or towards recapitalizing NATO and restoring NATO capability, given how much ammunition and how much has been provided to Ukraine.